What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? I would like to welcome you all to another edition of Wayne's Perspective, where we operate in discipline, decency, integrity, and respect. And I'm coming through with another video just for you. Okay, so before I get started with this reaction video, I hope everyone is doing okay as I do this particular recording. It is May 15th, 2024. We're in mid-May, y'all. Like I said in other videos, May just got here. It's almost like this month is going by just as fast as the other months, and Mother's Day came and went, and here we are. So again, I hope everyone is doing okay. It's another dreary day here in the 804. We had a little bit of rain, just a little bit, but nothing too major. But other than that, like I said, I hope everyone is doing okay. As for me, y'all know how I do. Working hard every day, taking every day one day at a time, and you know, doing things the best way I know how. So, with all that being said, I want to preface this reaction video. Yeah, I'm still doing more of them, y'all. So, okay, where is this hype coming from regarding who Donald Trump is going to pick for his vice president, nominee? I mean, at the end of the day, I really don't give a damn who he picks, and neither should you, but I just don't understand where all this hype is coming from and all this suspense. I mean, you know, whoever he picks, I mean, they're not going to be effective in that role. So why does it matter? Now, before you come for me, I know you're probably thinking, well, Wayne, did you say that when Joe Biden was, on the verge of picking Kamala Harris for his VP? No, I didn't say that, and I will admit that at that point, it was some hype surrounding who Joe Biden was going to pick. And mainly that hype was because it was well known he was going to pick a black woman. But the question was going to be, who, and it turned out to be Kamala Harris. And still to this day, I think that was a great pick for him. Now, what's different this time around is that everybody saw how effective Mike Pence was in his role. So, what makes you think that who Trump picks this time around, assuming that he wins, and hopefully he don't? What makes you think that this person is going to be any more effective than Mike Pence was? And as far as I'm concerned, the guys that's been highlighted recently, as well as the ones that's going to be highlighted on this video that I'm going to take a look at, courtesy of Morning Joe. So fair use, fair use. So you know, I mean, any reasonable person looking at this would know that none of these cats got a shot. But hey, if they want to continue to worship the ground that Donald Trump walks on and do his political bidding and all of that, if they're willing to continue to fall on their swords and embarrass themselves, have at it. Must be nice. That's all I got to say. So with all due respect, I don't know why I'm about to say with all due respect, so without further delay, let's go ahead and get into this particular video. I'm going to get my screen shared. And again, fair usage for this video, fair usage. And I like the title, Running Toward the Sound of the Sleaze. VP contenders flock to hush money trial. All right, so let's go ahead and get into this, y'all.
Republican Senator Tommy Tuberville.
I like purple.
Oh, man.
Says he accompanied Donald Trump to court this week to, quote, overcome the gag order imposed on the former president. Interview yesterday with Newsmax. The Alabama senator discussed his decision to speak outside the courthouse on Monday, where, among other things, he called into question the citizenship of the jurors serving on the trial.
Dope.
Hold on. Let me let this
mental anguish is trying to be pushed on the Republican candidate for the president of the United States this year. That's all this is. He's been here a month. I am disappointed in looking at the supposedly American citizens in that courtroom.
Man, look, nobody gives a damn how disappointed you are, but let me go ahead and get into it. Okay, number one, what the hell does the citizenship have to do with the people that's on the jury? I mean, why does that even matter? Why should that even be a question? Well, we all, in my Nas voice, I think we all know the answer to that. But what does their citizenship have to do with anything? And secondly, to my people in the state of Alabama, are y'all still satisfied with this choice? Y'all voted out Doug Jones and put this guy in his place. I mean, man, of all the mind-boggling decisions right there, that one still puzzles me. Y'all took out Doug Jones and put this guy in. Bless y'all hearts. Y'all must be proud. Let's move on here, y'all.
This judge has pretty much got everybody hogtied, I would call, from President Trump on down, anybody on his side. Hopefully we have more and more senators and congressmen go up every day to represent him and be able to go out and overcome this gag order. And that's one of the reasons we went, is to be able to speak our piece for President Trump.
Supposedly American citizen, says Senator Tuberville. Donald Trump was joined in court yesterday by more of his allies who are willing to help him get around that gag order. Among them, House Speaker Mike Johnson, who repeated many of Donald Trump's false claims about the cases against him.
Of course he
did. The man who was second in line to the presidency also criticized Michael Cohen's testimony and attacked the judge's daughter on behalf of the former president.
Let me ask you something. What would happen if Nancy Pelosi went to Hunter Biden's trial and attacked the key witness against Hunter Biden and then attacked the judge's daughter? Let's just play that game out for a second.
Wall-to-wall coverage, full meltdown.
Full meltdown.
Well, it's something.
And not only would it be a full meltdown, but MSNBC will be talking about it. CNN will be talking about it. Fox News definitely will be talking about it. That channel alone, the rest of the right-wing media and everybody else wouldn't be able to shut the hell up about it. It'll be a full-blown news story. And everybody will be talking about how unethical it is, how immoral it is, how she shouldn't do this, she shouldn't do that, she should step down, blah, 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 blah. Y'all know the story. But you see, when they do it, in this case, on behalf of Trump, it's all good. But if, like they say, if Nancy Pelosi did this, it'll be a big damn story. Of course it would be. And just look at this. Trying to act all serious, like, man, boys back.
She wouldn't do, because
of course she'd never do it.
Alex, do we have the suits, the matching outfits? I think do we have that?
That's
clip?
the picture of the day.
All right,
That
let's go to chart.
Cyborgs from the multiverse.
So this is all the men who showed up to support Donald Trump yesterday. Republican congressman, a governor of North Dakota, doing, of course, the people's business of North Dakota by being in Lower Manhattan. Vivek Ramaswamy was there as well, all wearing the same suit and the same tie. Nice. The red tie favored by Donald Trump.
Bless their hearts. They all look like a bunch of damn fools out there. It's one thing to be supporting the guy, and it's another thing to be caping for someone. Which one do y'all think that lines up under? Yeah, y'all let me know.
Charlie Sykes, what do you see in these images?
I see politicians running toward the sound of the sleaze because that's what their master is demanding them. I suppose at this point we shouldn't be surprised, but it's still shocking. It's still amazing that you have these politicians embracing Donald Trump in the middle of a hush money trial. A felon could walk out of that courtroom as a convicted felon. Look, it's one thing for Republicans to say, okay, we like Donald Trump because of his policies on taxes or on the border or on education. But what's happening now is that it's become the new litmus test. You have to embrace it all. You have to embrace the election denial, the lies. You have to embrace the insurrection. You have to embrace the hush money to a porn star, the multiple affairs. You have to embrace the obstruction of justice. You have to make yourself part of the obstruction of justice. I mean, that was one of those moments where you go, okay, we need to remind everybody that this is not remotely normal, that the Speaker of the House of Representatives would show up at the felony trial supporting Donald Trump, not in spite of his character, but embracing all of it, and then basically using his position to violate the gag order, to say things that the judge says this would affect the trial. Now, whether this is going to have any effect on the jury, we don't know. Whether it is going to intimidate the jury, whether it's going to impress the jury. But again, we're seeing a scene in American politics that we have never seen before, and which was unimaginable until the last 2 days. And by the way, as you guys have pointed out, so much for the party of morality, so much for the party of law and order.
Former Republican Congresswoman Liz Cheney mocked Mike Johnson for his appearance at the trial. She posted on social media, quote, "I have to admit I'm surprised that Speaker Johnson wants to be in the I cheated on my wife with a porn star club. I guess he's not that concerned with teaching morality to our young people after all." Democratic Congressman Jamie Raskin of Maryland also called out the speaker, sarcastically telling the Daily Beast, quote, "I don't find anything unusual about a fundamentalist theocrat who thinks the Bible is the supreme law of the land attending the legal proceedings of an adjudicated sexual assailant." And
I mean, think about that for a second now. You got the Bible thumpers and the rest of them, but like I said, if they want to keep on falling on their sword for the likes of Donald damn Trump without a care in the world, that's on them.
World-class fraudster and con man for cooking the books to cover up hush money payments he made to a porn star to conceal his adulterous affair. Do you? Raskin making a reference there to Johnson telling Fox News about his worldview shortly after he was elected speaker last fall.
Check this out, y'all.
I am a Bible-believing Christian. Someone asked me today in the media, they said, it's curious. People are curious. What does Mike Johnson think about any issue under the sun? I said, well, go pick up a Bible off your shelf and read it. That's my worldview. That's what I believe.
And see, this is a prime example of, when you give them a little credit for something, then they turn around not too long afterwards and do something that wipes away whatever credit you gave them previously. And the credit that I'm talking about is in a previous video. I did say that, I gave him a little bit of credit because when it came to the funding for Israel and all that stuff, he did his job, which ironically could have cost him his job, but then he turns around and do this mess, so, then again, it's no surprise to me,
Joe, I know you're a Bible scholar. We've talked about the Bible a lot on this show various times. I remember when Mike Johnson said that thing about how, I'm just, if you want to know who I am, just look to the Ten Commandments, basically. It's an incredible spectacle. I mean, it's almost more of the two things that are incredible about this. One is that the Speaker of the House is doing this. The other is that it's this Speaker of the House that's willing to come down here and stand up for Donald Trump. I mean, it's like he has no memory of things that he said just apparently. There's apparently no memory of things he said just a few months ago.
Not a Bible scholar, but my parents did drag me
of the office.
To church 4 times a week.
Yes, well, that makes you a Bible scholar.
And I loved it. I loved every second of it. But Charlie Sykes, again, here's a guy. I thought, you can go back to the very beginning. We criticized Mike Johnson for saying, just look at the Bible. When Mike Johnson's speakership was built on the biggest lie in American politics,
right?
Specifically, the big lie. He was the guy that went around with the sign-up sheet to support Ken Paxton's big lie out of Texas, trying to overthrow American democracy. So you could start there, and you could go all the way to what happened yesterday, unfortunately. And like I said yesterday, Charlie, and I'm sure you're the same way. I'm cheering for Speaker Mike Johnson, just like I would cheer for Speaker Hakeem Jeffries, just like I would cheer for any speaker. I want them to succeed because I want America to succeed. And yesterday was a very, very sad spectacle for America and for an institution I love.
A clear-cut spectacle. That's all it was.
It was a bizarre spectacle. No, I mean, it's worth remembering that Mike Johnson became the speaker because he had a coup on his resume, because he, did play the role in the big lie. But, I mean, the reality is that Mike Johnson, as a speakership hangs by a thread, that he depends upon the favor of Mar-a-Lago, that all Donald Trump has to do is turn on him and he's out. So here you have Mike Johnson, who survived that vacate the speaker vote with Democratic support, basically showing where the real power in the Republican Party is. And by the way, also not a surprise that he was fundraising off of it. We know with a picture of him and Donald Trump, live from Donald Trump's trial for the various frauds to try to raise money. But this is who Mike Johnson is. And the hypocrisy is almost too obvious to have to mention that here is somebody who has built his entire identity on his Christian morality. And apparently he and his son have a deal where they monitor one another's porn, use, whatever. This is a trial about Donald Trump having an affair. I mean, well, having a fling with a porn star and a Playboy model, and then lying about it. And there's Mike Johnson. I am there with you. I am with you on this. Not just with you on taxes, not just with you on the border. I am with you on this, and I'm willing to help you obstruct justice by violating the gag order.
I'm still thrown off by the whole thing. You went a little too deep in the shag carpet, as they used to say in the 1970s. I heard nothing after that. Charlie Sykes, please figure out what those youngins are doing in Wisconsin and Michigan, and why there's a 50-point swing between the two. According to the New York Times, in a poll, there will be 38 articles about that coming up in the next 2 days. Thank you, Charlie. We appreciate it. Listen, I said on the show, I was very grateful for Mike Johnson for finally approving aid to Ukraine. But the New York Times, right next to this poll story, right here, which 100. But a very important story here about Russia starting to make really rapid gains in Ukraine. The reason why? Because Donald Trump wanted to help Vladimir Putin, and he froze the House of Representatives. And Mike Johnson was obsequious for far too long. And when Johnson finally changed his mind, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt just because. But, I think by that point, I think the chairman, the responsible people in the party had come to him and said, listen, we're going to get this through with or without you. So that's what he did. But I just want to say, even while we thank him for what he did, the cost of his delay, devastating to Ukraine, and a gift that keeps on giving to Vladimir Putin.
Yeah, two quick things here. As Charlie said, Speaker Johnson clearly paying a debt to Donald Trump. Trump pushed off MTG's motion to vacate. This is Johnson saying, thank you for keeping me in my post. However, as Charlie also noted, he stayed in the post also because Democrats came to his aid. And in the aftermath of his appearance at the courthouse yesterday, a number of Democrats saying, some I spoke to, others giving interviews to other media outlets saying, that's not happening again. He just burned that bridge. We will not bail him out if there's another effort to push him out. So that's
right there. I know I stopped it a little bit early, but that part right there. Now, if I was in the House of Representatives right now, I would be making the same claims. No, I wouldn't come to his aid again. No, that bridge was burned. It shouldn't be surprising to any of them. So, yeah. So if they bring up a motion to vacate the speaker chair again, they're not going to come to his aid again. And I believe that they would stick by that. Now, what if they turn around and decide to go against that? That wouldn't surprise me either, because then you'll have to go through the whole mumbo jumbo again of coming up with a speaker. And then the next in line, whoever that would be, God forbid it be Jim Damn Jordan, they're going to be even worse, So, but in this case, I'm with the Democrats on this one. You burned this bridge, so y'all deal with y'all.
It's a consequence of what Johnson did yesterday. And to a larger point, yes, Joe, the U.S. officials I've talked the last couple of days watching the progress in Russia say, yeah, U.S. aid is starting to show up in the front, but it's going to be a process. And that delay was costly. And we're seeing Russia take over a number of villages near Kharkiv. They think that advances will continue as Russia sets up for what they think will be a significant spring-summer offensive.
All right. So that brings us to the end of this one. So yeah, so like I said, doing this video rather. If they want to continue to fall on their collective swords for Donald Trump and do his bidding and all that nonsense, go right ahead. I guess doing his bidding is more important than having your own damn backbone and standing for something, huh? But I digress. But at any rate, y'all, if you like what you heard and you're ready to become part of Team Discipline, go ahead and hit that like button and drop some comments if you're feeling the content. And last but not least, hit that subscribe button along with the bell so you're notified when I drop new videos. And until next time, my people, take care of yourselves. And remember, the power of the mind is valuable, and having a backbone and standing for something is just as essential. Take care, y'all.